In today's video, I want to show you how you can manifest healing and wellness using 3 simple journaling and meditation tips. Something that's really important for healing that many people don't realize, especially when they're going through a lot of chronic health issues or they're trying to achieve a new health and wellness goal, is that it's super important to align your energetic frequency to an elevated state of health and wellness. If you're someone who's been putting in a lot of work recently, you are changing your diet, you've been trying out different healing modalities, you're going to therapy, all of these different things, and you feel like you just can't cross that invisible barrier between your present state and that future state that you want to inhabit, maybe what you're missing is that little subtle shift in your frequency that'll allow you to become that higher and healthier version of yourself. If this at all resonates with you, here is a simple strategy, 3 simple steps that you can incorporate into your day that'll help you start inching your way closer towards those health and wellness goals. The first thing that I want you to do, and all of the steps that I'm going to go over today, they're things that you can incorporate into your day from beginning to end. Very simple and easy to implement. Anybody can do them. But where I want you to start is to set an intention for your day, and I want you to be very specific with it. Get super clear on what you want to get out of your day, the energy that you want to feel around yourself and within yourself. And also, I want you to ask yourself what it is that may be holding you back from reaching that higher and healthier version of yourself. This is a technique that I began using many years ago when I first started my own health and wellness journey, and I used it primarily to start helping me get out of a very anxious state. The anxiety that I had at the time was very debilitating in a lot of ways, very paralyzing, and I started using this journaling technique to start helping me inch my way out of that in a more conscious and mindful way. And so, like, for example, with me, with my anxiety, my coping mechanism at the time was to distract myself from whatever it is that was making me anxious at the time. I had different coping mechanisms, procrastination, you name it. If you had anxiety, you can probably resonate with this yourself. And for me, the challenge that I had initially set for myself to get me out of that frozen state was to just challenge myself to do something for 5 minutes. And in my head, I just kept on repeating that I could do anything for 5 minutes. So it could have been, at the time talking to someone new or trying out a new activity or doing something that I just didn't want to do but had to do anyway. And so what that did for me is it started bringing more awareness to the little things that I was doing in the moment that were holding me back from achieving that next step, that next goal, and the overarching goal of just wanting to have better mental health in general. More recently, I started using this technique to address some gut health issues that I was having. I was just feeling really fatigued. I just didn't feel good. And I knew that I had to change the way that I was eating in order to better address the inflammation that was going on in my gut. And so I actually recently switched to an animal-based diet. And so that just required me to eliminate a lot of the foods that I really enjoyed at the time. And setting this intention for myself at the beginning of the day allowed me to really embrace the changes that I was making as something that was nourishing and good for me rather than something that was really restricting and something that I just didn't want to do. So it allowed me to shift it from being something that I have to do to something that I was choosing to do because I was taking care of myself and it was just better for me. And something that I see a lot in the clinic when I'm treating patients is that people have a goal that they want to reach in terms of their health and wellness goals. It could be wanting to lose weight or having chronic pain and knowing that they should be doing certain exercises every day, but they just don't have the motivation to. It's those little things that you can start. It kind of creates a little bit of a mental barrier, but if you start setting that intention for yourself at the beginning of the day to just do it, to just embrace it as something that's going to be good for you in the long run, it can really start to turn it into something positive and turn it into a little bit of a challenge for yourself. Yeah, I can do that. It kind of just starts to shift that that approach and that perspective that you might have of it being not being a chore anymore, rather it being something that you want to do for yourself and for your health. So like I mentioned, making these little shifts, setting an intention for the day is going to start priming your body to really start tuning into that healing frequency, to start aligning yourself to actually receive from all of the work that you've been putting in up until this point. And the really cool thing is that it can also lead to feelings of empowerment and show you that yes, you can absolutely reach the goals that you have in mind for yourself. So now that you've set your intention for the day, I want you to take maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes if you can, to sit with a very specific meditation exercise that involves visualizing and embodying the frequency that you are trying to align yourself to. And again, just like with the intention, I want you to be very specific. I want you to envision yourself doing what you said that you would. And I want you to truly feel in your body the energy of it. Feel the energy of you making those right choices. Feel the energy of feeling good about yourself for doing the things that you said that you would do, doing the things that you know are going to be better for you in the long run. And as you're sitting in meditation and you're feeling these feelings in your body, I want you to also visualize what that healthier version of you looks like, what their energy is, their perception, their attitude, what kinds of choices they make on a daily basis. If you're someone who struggles with anxiety, what kinds of limitations are going to fall away as you embrace and you step into that less anxious version of yourself. If you are working on losing weight and you are working on incorporating a new workout routine, or you are trying to clean up your diet, what kinds of choices is that person going to make on a daily basis? What is their energy going to feel like? How good are they going to feel by the simple fact that they are doing what they said that they were going to do and they're not letting themselves down? And this is not to make you feel in any way bad about yourself, but it's more so for you to be able to visualize and see that this version of yourself is in fact possible. All you have to do is step into that energy. And a big tip and key to this is also feeling gratitude. Feeling gratitude for everything that you currently have in your life, and also feeling gratitude for the things that are coming into your life as a result of this process that you are in. And most importantly, I want you to really embody the feeling of love. Love is one of the most healing energetic frequencies out there. In order to really and truly heal, you have to feel that source and that vibration of love for yourself and for the process that you are in. I work with so many people on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, and I truly see the most profound effects and the quickest shifts in people when they have a positive attitude and when they stay motivated and they don't allow themselves to get discouraged by any minor setbacks that they might be experiencing. I know that you've probably heard this before, but it's something that is actually very true, especially I see it, on a daily basis at the clinic, that healing in progress is not linear. There's going to be setbacks. It's going to be like little ups and little downs, big ups, maybe a bigger down, but overall the trajectory is upwards. So don't get discouraged and just stay positive. All right, so you set your intention, you had your meditation. I love to do this first thing in the morning, the meditation and the intention, and then you can go about your day as you had planned. Then at the end of the day, I want you to do a little bit of a check-in and write a reflection. When I first started doing this, I would give myself little check marks next to each entry to kind of hold myself accountable for actually going over the intention that I had set for the day right before I write my reflection. And I use this as a tool to just check in with myself and see what my wins were and what little shifts I could have made or I could do the following day in order to better align myself with the intention that I had set for myself. Again, as with everything else, be very specific and be mindful of what minor shifts that you can make on a daily basis that are still achievable, but also are going to challenge you to push yourself a little bit more each and every day. For example, when I was addressing my gut health a few months ago, I was noticing that at the end of the day, I just felt really bloated and heavy and just didn't feel good. A lot of the time, I was just feeling super fatigued and unmotivated at the end of the day because I just couldn't understand what was going on with my gut. And when I did a little bit of a reflection, I realized that when I was hungry in the middle of the day, I would reach for whatever snack was available to me. And even though it was healthy, I also knew in the back of my head that it was acting as a trigger for the symptoms that I was experiencing. And so I got honest with myself and I told myself that really, in order for me to avoid that tendency, I had to prep my meals and snacks ahead of time. I also realized during this process that as much confidence as I had with myself at the beginning of the day, saying I will do it after work, I know that I'm exhausted after a full day at the clinic and I'm just not gonna do it. I'm going to find an excuse to not do it. And so I realized that I have to cook my meals on the weekends, and on those shorter days that I have at the clinic, I knew, strategize more effectively in order to set myself up for success, in order to have the proper foods on hand when I needed them so that I could start addressing that inflammation that I was feeling in my gut. And within a week of me doing this, I felt so much better at the end of the week. I wasn't feeling bloated and heavy at the end of the day. My energy was coming back, my workouts were getting better, even my mood and energy at the clinic was a lot higher. So I was able to hold space for people way easier than I was before. And so that just helps keep me motivated to continue on this process that I was in. And it actually became something enjoyable, because doing that little reflection at the end of the day is going to allow you to check in with yourself, honor yourself, celebrate those small wins. And the really cool thing about this is that you can go back to the start of this whole process. You can actually see your process, reading it from day to day, and realize that you are in fact progressing. When we're on this day-to-day basis of not feeling good or addressing our health or doing things that are really hard at the time, it's easy to get lost in that, and it's easy to not see the progress that we've made and to feel like we've plateaued when in reality we haven't. And you have to realize too that even if the physical side of whatever it is that you're working on is taking a little bit longer for the progress in that to show, the mental shifts are huge, and it's really easy to overlook those if you don't have a system or some kind of record keeping in place that's going to show you how much you've actually progressed. So I want to challenge you to implement these 3 tips for the next 30 days and watch your life transform. If you do this, keep me posted, put your progress down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.